Fiery day in the House as Parliament gets back to business. Cook Strait cost blowout lands with the Finance Minister, and how Auckland Council's addressing crime in the city. Atamarie, I'm Sherry Kinnear, and these are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. Parliament resumed its post-election routine in earnest yesterday, opening with the first question time of the year. Labour's Grant Robertson tripped up new Finance Minister Nicola Willis by asking for government debt numbers. She didn't know, but was able to pass it off by having a go at the former government for its spending. New Zealand First Shane Jones poked fun at Te Pāti Māori using a question to mock the feathered headdress worn by several members during their swearing in. Meanwhile, an extended debate was also held on the conflict in the Middle East. All parties in the House have supported a motion urging those involved in the conflict to take urgent steps towards establishing a ceasefire. Amnesty International Aotearoa says the government must now use its diplomatic channels to encourage other countries into joining the call. They say they desperately need guaranteed protection for aid organisations to enter Gaza. Prime Minister Chris Luxon says there are certain conditions in order for a ceasefire to take place.
You actually have to have both sides wanting to do it. You have to have both sides actually covers the whole geographic area, and importantly, you've got to put yourself into a process to actually deal with to get back into the Middle East peace process.
The potential cost to the taxpayer of Cook Strait's new mega ferries is now far more than what KiwiRail signed up for. Nicola Willis met with the state-owned enterprise's top brass about it before she was even sworn in as minister. KiwiRail is replacing its increasingly unreliable and ageing inter-islander fleet with two new hybrid electric ferries. The last publicly available cost estimate for the ferries and infrastructure was $1.45 billion and the date 2026. Amid the undisclosed cost blowout, Willis calls the situation extremely troubling. Auckland Council is teaming up with police and community leaders to provide a more visible safety presence on central Auckland streets. It comes after a report earlier this week ranking Auckland as the least safe city in Australasia. Heart of the City CEO Viv Beck says despite the lack of correlation, they've been vocal about this for 3 years.
We wanted to see a stronger police presence. We wanted to see better management of emergency housing and specialist support for things like mental health and addiction.
And in world news, Boris Johnson has faced another day in the hot seat at the UK's COVID-19 inquiry. The former Prime Minister has told the panel that any suggestion he wanted to allow the virus to let rip is rubbish. The inquiry has heard accusations around Johnson's reluctance to lock down and his confusion around the science of the virus. Johnson also claimed there hadn't been mass rule breaking inside the government. And those are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. For more news worth knowing, head to nzherald.co.nz. Kia pai te rā. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.